Helm, initiate cold, quiet drift. Now! Commander Mara Vance gripped the armrests of her command chair. The ARC ship Endurance shuddered as reactors spun down to whisper levels. Life support hummed low. Every crew member held breath in the dim-lit bridge. Drift confirmed, Ensign Rao replied from Helm. Passive sensors only, we're ghosts. Vance nodded once. The alien patrol net loomed ahead, 6 corvettes in a loose web, scanning for human stragglers. Their invasion had gutted Sol's system months ago, billions dead. Endurance carried the last 50,000 souls, limping in deep space. One slip and they joined the ghosts. Sensors pinged faint. Sato hunched over her console, fingers flying. Ma'am, fusing old logs with neutrino ghosts. Blind angle on lead corvette, port nacelle exposed for 47 seconds. Vance leaned forward. Viable shot? Lieutenant Ilya Sato didn't look up. Her eyes darted across holographic overlays. Railgun 3, 1 round, 87% cripple chance, but power draw. Vance keyed engineering. Kess, talk to me? Chief Engineer Nadia Kess's voice crackled through. Grease smeared her face on the feed. Sparks flew behind her. Life supports our battery, Commander. Reroute 2 scrubbers and heat sinks. Ugly, but it'll spike the rails once. Crew holds breath for 5 minutes after. Do it! Vance's jaw set, no room for debate. The ARC ship's fleet was scrapped, fighters gone, shields breached. Survival meant striking first. Alarms whispered. A corvette twisted, active scan sweeping close. Vance's pulse thrummed. Drift held, they slid past the net's edge, a shadow in the void. Sato straightened. Solution locked. Fire window opens in 90 seconds. Vance scanned the bridge, faces pale but steady. Rao sweated at controls, Sato's hands steady as stone. Status on Marines. Sergeant Juno Rake's voice cut in from below decks. Civvies drilled tight, ma'am. 200 ready for borders. We take that corvette, it's ours. Good. Vance eyed the plot. Kethvor's task force on this sector. His ships hunted with machine precision, flawless formations, energy lances that melted hulls. Humans improvised. That's what kept them alive. Kess patched through. Power reroute live, rails charged, but it's one shot. Life support drops to minimal post-fire. Kids in cryo get first dibs on air. Understood. Vance stood. Bridge crew snapped to attention. All hands, this is Vance. We have 1 round left. We take it. Sato, designate target. Corvette Scarath, lead patrol, firing solution green. The Endurance crept closer, drift vector perfect. Alien sensors missed them, cold hull, no emissions. Vance watched the timer tick, 30 seconds. A corvette veered. Scan beam grazed their flank. Rao cursed softly. They're pinging debris fields. Hold course. Vance's voice steel. The beam passed. Window opened. Fire, Vance ordered. Railgun 3 barked silent fury. The slug accelerated to .9C, invisible on passives. It struck Scarath S port nacelle dead center. The corvette listed hard. Explosions bloomed along its spine. Power signatures flatlined. It spun, venting plasma. Direct hit, Sato whooped. Nacelle gone, engines offline, they're blind. Vance allowed a tight smile. Comms, capture that distress burst. Ensign Leela Torres nodded. Got it. Burst intercepted, standard alien squeal for backup. Rewrite it, Vance paced. False all clear, make it say patrol net intact, no contacts. Torres' fingers blurred. Alien code was fractal, self-encrypting, but humans cracked patterns. Done, piggybacking on their freak. Sending now. Across the bridge plot, Scarath tumbled. Its sisters held station, unaware. No reinforcements scrambled. Vance keyed open channel. Boarding teams, prep for grapple, rake your lead. Aye, ma'am. Juno Rake's Marines moved out, heavy boots clanging in corridors. Civilians clutched rifles, faces grim from drills. No panic, just resolve, Kess reported in. Life support rerouted back, we're stable for now. Vance settled into her chair. Scarath loomed larger as Endurance closed. Grapples fired. Magnetic locks thudded home. Breaches secure, Rake called. Marines in, civvies covering hatches. Gunfire echoed through comms, short bursts. Alien screams in their clicking tongue. Rake's voice cut sharp. Corridor clear, bridge team pushing. Vance watched feeds. Marines stacked at doors, breaching charges popping. Juno led point, shotgun barking. A civilian ex-farmer from hydroponics nailed an alien trooper mid-leap. Aliens fought like demons, claws rending armor, plasma bolts scorching bulkheads, but humans flanked. Improvised grenades from engineering scrap turned corners into killboxes. Bridge secured, Rake grunted, minutes later. Crew dead or spaced, systems ours. Vance exhaled. Good work, Sato. Splice their nav data. Sato pulled logs. Task Force rally point, 2 light minutes spinward, Kethvor's flagship anchoring. Vance's mind raced. 1 corvette down, net fooled, but the Ark ship teetered, ammo low, hull patched with prayers. Kess's fixes held hull together through spit and welds. A new ping hit comms. Tors frowned. Incoming tight beam from Scareth *S log, Kethvor himself. Vance nodded. Play it. The alien commander's voice boomed, translated rough. Patrol net report anomaly. Scareth respond. Humans are vermin, scattered, panicked. Do not fail. Sato smirked. He sounds confident. Vance's eyes narrowed. Capture that tone, prep counterspoof. Rake patched from the captured bridge. Ma'am, their hyperdrive intact. We can jump with it. Not yet. Vance stood again. Plot updated, alien formation tightening. They bought time, but Kethvor hunted. Engineering buzzed. Kess appeared on feed, welding a jury-rigged power tap. Commander, Corvette's reactors mesh with ours. Double our punch if we link. Do it. Vance turned to Sato. Patterns, Lieutenant. Where's his weakness? Sato overlaid grids. Flagship's blind spot, aft sensor vane. Matches Scareth *S flaw. Their design flaw our gain. Vance nodded. Humans turned scraps to steel. Aliens built perfect machines until hit right. Marines dragged alien bodies past cams. Juno wiped blood from her visor. Interrogating survivor, says Kethvor laughs at us, thinks we're done. Vance's grip tightened on console, no speeches. Vengeance was vectors and shots. Rake locked down the ship, full sweep. Tors beamed the spoofed all clear. Alien net relaxed, corvettes drifting lazy, but Kethvor's tight beam spiked again. Urgent now, net tighten, I sense irregularity. Vance smiled cold. Sato, new solution, link endurance * rails to Scareth *S. Working. Sato fused data streams, hollow lit green. 2 shots. Cripple his vane. Kess whooped over comms. Link live, fire when ready. The Ark ship fleet, 2 ships now docked tight. Crews cross-fed power, Marines patrolled joints. Civilians hauled ammo, faces set. Vance eyed the plot. Kethvor's force closed, lances charging. They assumed humans fled. Fire window in 60, Sato said. Vance authorized. Take it. Rails thundered in tandem, slugs streaked. Kethvor's flagship Vorath * jerked, vane shattered. Scans went dark aft. Alien comms exploded. Panic in clicks. Kethvor's voice roared. Humans. How patrol net betrayed. Vance keyed transmit, raw English. This is Commander Vance, your net's ours. Drift quiet, Kethvor, or we hunt. Silence fell. Then his response, grudging, you fight, not as vermin, terms? Vance cut the line, no terms yet. The broken fleet struck back. Aliens learned respect the hard way, but sensors pinged new. Reinforcements inbound, 1 shot spent. The counterstrike began. Vance slammed the launch override. Marine pod streaked from * endurance *S bay, a needle toward the drifting corvette Scareth *. Kethvor's patrol net thought it debris. Sato's spoof held. Pod away, Rake crackled over comms. Breaching in 10. Vance gripped her console. Reinforcements inbound, 3 hours out. Steal their eyes first. Sato track the hit. Kess prep scuttle charges remote. Both snapped. Sato's fingers flew. Holoplot sharpened. Scareth *S core glowed red, isolated. Humans didn't run from scanners. They stole them. Pod clamped the corvette's hull. Cutter's word. Rake's team spilled in 6 Marines, 0G harnessed, mag boots off. Vance watched the feed. Grainy but live, Rake led breaching torch in gauntlets. Civilians turned Marines followed, rifles hot. Clearing corridors, Rake reported. Flat voice, no hype. Aliens swarmed. Clicks echoed in the feed audio. Scareth *S crew, scaled, four-armed, fired plasma lances. Marines rolled, suppressed. 1 human grunted, suit patched, auto-seal. Rake vaulted a bulkhead. Torch sliced a sealed hatch. Sparks flew in the void. Metal peeled back. Bridge ahead, he growled. Marines stacked. Rake kicked in. 0G ballet, bodies tumbled. Marines maglocked rails, fired bursts. Aliens spun, limbs flailing, vents hissing atmosphere. Vance leaned in. Feed shook. Rake's HUD pinged kills, 5 down. Bridge secured. Navigator huddled, claws raised. Rake hauled the alien by its harness, dragged it to the console. Key codes, sector access, now. The creature chittered. Vance patched translation, drone through. You die, vermin. Rake's knife pressed its throat gill. Codes. Or I carve your nav brain. Clicks turned frantic. Navigator slapped pads, data streamed. Sato's console lit. Got it, Sato said, eyes narrowed. Patterns bloomed, patrol schedules, logistics lanes snaking deep space. Invasion supply chains, fat predictable. Kethvor's whole force mapped. Vance nodded. Copy full, rake, exfil. Marines rigged charges, pod retracted. Scarath hung limp, Kess triggered remote. Corvette's reactor overloaded spectacular. Debris bloomed, a perfect mimic of core failure. Scans would read accident. No trace of borders. Alien net buzzed confusion. Kethvor's voice cut through. Scarath silent, reactor signature, malfunction. Vance keyed open mic, English only. Patrols blind now, Kethvor, your lane's ours. Silence stretched. Then his response, clicks laced grudging. Humans, take, not flee, what next? Sato overlaid maps. Logistics hub here, strike at their push stalls. Vance traced the plot. Arc Fleet * Endurance and * linked Scarath * powered hot. Civilians stacked ammo in bays, faces grimset. Kess patched hull scars with scavenged plates. Marines drilled corridors, no speeches, just work. Reinforcements ETA 2 hours 50, Sato said. Their vanguard 4 frigates, heavy lances. Vance eyed vectors, humans built for survival, aliens for conquest. Balance it. Rake, reform Alpha Team, target the hub convoy. Co. Boots thudded behind her. Rake loomed, alien blood flecked on armor. Navigator's key fob dangled from his belt. Crews primed, civvies shoot straight now. She glanced up. Rake's eyes burned steady. No rage, resolve. Good, Sato, plot ambush lanes. Sato nodded, obsessed. Fingers danced. Their patrols loop here, blind spot from Scarath debris, rails prime for pincer. Kess patched in from engineering. Power crossfed, ugly but she'll hold, fire when ready. Vance stood, plot hummed. Kethvor's * Voreth circled wary now, vein patched hasty. He probed debris fields, cautious. Humans forced that, tight beam spiked. Kethvor again, Vance, your raid, precise, vermin do not plan so. She smirked. We plan, always, pull back or lose the hub. Clicks rattled. You bluff strength, reinforcements crush. Test it, she cut, fleet shifted. Endurance * thrust gentle, masking Marines pods prepped. Civilians hauled rails, slugs, sweat slick but silent. Juno Rake paced the bay, drilling form. 0G breach, torch, stack, suppress. Echoed back crisp. Sato's hollow, refined. Logistics convoy lumbered, 6 haulers, 2 escorts, fat with invasion fuel. Humans hit weak points, always. Window in 90, Sato murmured. Vance watched scopes. Kethvor's force tightened net, wary now, respect crept in their maneuvers, no lazy drifts, pod launch silent. Rake's voice, inbound hub, eyes on haulers. Feed flicked live. Marines ghosted hulls. Aliens scanned wrong vectors. Human spoofs. Rake's torch bit. Hatch peeled. Team poured. 0G chaos. Marines flipped. Fired mag rifles. Aliens thrashed. Lances wild. One Marine tumbled. Venting. Harness yanked her back. Bridge clear, Rake barked. Grabbed alien logistics officer. Claws scrabbled. Convoy overrides. Hand 'em, Chitters pleaded. Data dumped. Sato slurped it live. Full invasion spine, supply depots, reinforcement paths, Vance's plot exploded detail. Kess scuttle sequence, Corvette erupted, debris clouded lanes, convoy panicked, scattered. Kethvor's roar blasted open channels. Hub lost, humans strike shadows. His ships wheeled, lances charged but blind in the mess. Endurance * rails spoke. Slugs punched an escort's drive, it spun dead. Civilians cheered quiet in bays. Vance silenced them with a look. Work. Sato plotted next. Their reinforcements reroute, logistics crippled, we dictate now. Vance leaned forward, reinforcements closed 1 hour out. Kethvor flanked, probing. Rake, back aboard, prep for borders. Fleet formed wedge. Humans fought smart, scraps to strikes. Aliens charged hard but predictable. Kethvor's tight beam. Vance, terms, you earn parley. She eyed him on hollow, scaled face twisted, respect in the stance. Not yet, drift or burn. His force hesitated, first time, sensors screamed. Reinforcements jumped in hot. Vance punched rails live. Fire all! Slugs roared, war turned. Rake's Marines stacked bays, civilians gripped rifles. Sato's patterns won lanes, Kess jury-rigged shields, Kethvor charged. Humans met him, debris fields lit battle, rails thundered. Alien lances scorched hulls, Kess patched live. One frigate cracked, Marines potted over. Rake cut in, clearing. 0G sweeps, aliens yielded decks. Sato hacked their net full now. Their command vein exposed. Vance authorized, dual rails, * endurance and survivor nailed it. Voreth listed dark. Kethvor's voice cracked. Humans! Resolve unbreakable. Cease, we withdraw. Fleet stilled. Scans cleared. Aliens retreated. Lanes, there's no more. Vance exhaled. No victory lap. Sato map pursuit vectors. Rake, secure salvage. Civilians slumped alive. Marines nodded. Kess whooped faint. Broken fleet stood. Invaders learned, underestimate humans pay, but scopes pinged deep. Bigger force inbound. Counterstrike rolled on. Chief Kess's torch sliced through the last restraint on the captured comm core. Sparks flew across the ARC ship's gutted comm bay. Commander Mara Vance gripped the hatch frame, watching the engineer haul the alien module free. Grease smeared Kess's face. She hefted the core like a trophy. "Slot it in, Chief," Vance said. "We need their eyes blind to ours." Kess nodded, no words wasted. Her team swarmed the dead human array. Bolts clanged into place. Wires spat from severed ends. Vance scanned the readouts on her wrist pad. Endurance's long-range sensors flickered, then stabilized. Alien code synced. "Array live," Kess grunted. "Their encryption's ours now, full spectrum." Vance tapped her comm. "Bridge, Sato, test the feed." Lieutenant Ilya Sato's voice crackled back. "Pulling ghost data now, Commander. Enemy net painting clean." Vance exhaled. One edge gained. The ARC ship Endurance hid in the debris shadow of shattered colonies. Invaders owned the lanes. Humans scraped by on salvage and spite. No fleet left, just this ARC, 20,000 souls, and a handful of war-scarred escorts. Kethvor's task force prowled close. They assumed humanity panicked in the dark. Not today. Vance strode to the lift. "Kess, shift your crew, civilians next." Alarms whooped soft in the civilian decks. Vance entered the training bay. Families clutched stations, eyes wide. Sergeant Juno Rake barked orders at the front. "Stack left, cover your sectors." Rake's voice cut steel. She pivoted to Vance. "They're green, ma'am, but drilling hard." Vance nodded. "Crash shift start now. 12 hours on, 6 off. Engineering teams to Kess, gunners to Sato." Everyone pulls loaders or spotters. A mother gripped her daughter's shoulder. Vance met her gaze. "You fight here, you live. Stations assigned. Move." Civilians surged. Feet pounded decks. Rake herded them to mock consoles. Simulated rails spat fire on screens. Vance watched a baker fumble a targeting lock, then nail it on retry. Progress. "They're tough," Rake said low. "Turned my first civvy squad into boarders last sim." "Good, boarders inbound soon." Vance checked chrono. Enemy probes circled tighter. Back on bridge, Sato hunched over tack plots. Hololane's pulsed red, Kethvor's wedge dominating. Sato's fingers danced code. "Deception package ready," Sato said without looking up. "Spoofing our signatures as Rex, thermal ghosts, debris chaff, they'll read us as Hulks." Vance leaned in. "Range, full lane coverage, their net feeds it back, self-confirming." Sato punched execute, plots shifted. Blue human icons smeared to gray drifts. Enemy sensors echoed the lie. "They're buying it," Sato murmured. Patterns danced in his eyes. Predictable sweeps. Vance gripped her chair arms. "Kess, status on engines." Chief Kess patched through from below. Clangs echoed. "Heat sink dumps installing. Vents route to shadow baffles. Microjumps masked, no bloom." Vance pictured it. Exhaust bled cold into debris fields. Invisible thrusts. "Test burn," Vance ordered. Endurance shuddered faint. Sensors stayed dark, no thermal spike. "Clean," Kess reported. "We ghost now." Vance straightened, all pieces locked. "Helm, plot insertion, slip the lane under their transponder logic." Helm officer nodded. Thrusters whispered. Endurance edged from shadow. Sato's spoofs cloaked her mass. The captured comm core fed alien IFF codes, * Endurance, pinged as Voreth auxiliary. Invaders' network vouched for her. Lanes filled screens. Kethvor's pickets glided past, blind. Their tight beams chattered logistics, reinforcements rerouted, supply lines strained. Humans listened in. "They're stretched," Sato said. "Logistics crippled from our raids." Vance's jaw set. "Vengeance as mission, strike flanks, bleed them dry." No speeches, deeper in. Escorts fell in loose formation, spoofed as loyal wrecks trailing. Civilians manned rails below. Rake's Marines stacked airlocks. Ping, enemy frigate altered course, close pass. "Steady," Vance said. Frigate scan washed over. Readouts held. Auxiliary confirmed. It slid by. Sato grinned faint. "Their nets are cloak." Vance allowed a nod. Humans turned scraps to spears. Aliens charged with lances and numbers, skilled killers, but predictable. Humans thought in patterns, improvised ugly. Another ping. Kethvor's flagship loomed *Vorath, blade-hulled Predator, scaled hull gleamed under lane lights. Match their drift, Vance ordered. Sato map weak points. Plots bloomed. Sato traced sensor ghosts. Flanks exposed. Rails can punch if we close. Vance eyed the hollow. Kethvor assumed humans fled. Time to teach respect. Tight beam lit. Alien voice Kethvor's deputy. Auxiliary 7 report status. Sato spoofed reply, static-laced affirm. Core handled it seamless. They passed Vorath asterisk. Ventral bays yawned, fighters prepped. They're probing remnants, Sato said, not us. Vance's console buzzed. Rake, marine set, civvies locked in. Kess, shields jury-rigged, 60% but holds. Deeper still, lane core, choke point. Enemy wedge formed ahead. Sensors screamed faint. Probes detected endurance S edge mass. Drift adjustment, Vance snapped. Dump inertials. Helm complied, ship tumbled, perfect wreck spin, spoofs held, wedge tightened. Kethvor's voice boomed open channel. Human remnants scatter, surrender or burn. Vance stayed silent. Her people gripped stations. No panic, Sato's eyes narrowed. Their flanking reinforcements reroute, logistics crippled, we dictate now. Vance leaned forward, 1 hour to contact. Kethvor's force flanked, probing. Rake back aboard from forward scout. Prep for borders. Aye, ma'am. Escorts formed wedge behind endurance asterisk. Humans fought smart scraps to strikes. Aliens charged hard but patterns clear. Kethvor's tight beam pierced. Vance, I see your ghost. Terms you earn parley. She eyed his hollow feed. Scaled face twisted, not mockery, stance held respect's edge. Not yet, Vance replied. Drift or burn. His force hesitated. First crack. Sensors screamed. Reinforcements jumped hot, flank secured. Vance punched rails live. Fire all. Slugs roared from hidden vents. Endurance asterisk shed wreckskin. Rails thundered truth. Enemy frigate cracked first. Marines potted over. Rake cut in 0G, clearing decks. Sato hacked their net full, command vein exposed. Target, Vance authorized. Dual rails nailed it. Vorath listed dark. Kethvor's voice cracked open. Humans, resolve unbreakable. Cease, we withdraw. Fleet stilled. Scans cleared. Aliens bugged out. Lanes human now. Vance exhaled sharp. No cheers. Sato map pursuit vectors. Rake secure salvage. Civilians slumped at stations, alive. Marines nodded grim. Kess whooped faint over calm. Broken fleet stood tall. Invaders learned never underestimate humans. Scopes pinged deep. Bigger force inbound. Dreadnought signatures. Counterstrike rolled on. Vance plotted the next ghost. Rails thundered from endurance asterisk S hidden bays. Slugs streaked across the void, slamming the alien fuel tenders drive nacelles. The bulbous ship shuddered, plasma vents blooming like dying stars at the gravity well's edge. Commander Mara Vance gripped her command rail. Bridge screens flickered with impact data. Drives down. Sato confirmed no FTL spool. Aye, ma'am, Lieutenant Ilya Sato replied, eyes locked on his tactical hollows. Fingers danced over consoles. Tenders blind, crew scrambling, but patterns hold, no distress burst yet. Vance nodded sharp. Endurance drifted in the well's shadow, hull scarred from prior scraps, but rails hot and true. Fuel starvation had clawed their tanks dry. This tender, Kethvor's logistics tale, fed his occupation force. Humans hit supply lines first, always. Launch tubes 1 through 4, she ordered. Rake your green. Sergeant Juno Rake's voice crackled over comms. Pods away, breaching in 30. Marine pods rocketed silent from endurance S flank. They punched into the tender's hull amidships, mag clamps biting metal. Rake's team, 12 hardened civilians drilled into killers, cycled airlocks with breacher charges. Vance tracked the overlay. Enemy crew massed at engineering, icons pulsing red. Self-destruct protocols lit their net. Rake, they rigged to blow, move fast. Copy that. 0G thuds echoed through feeds. Rake's helmet cam showed corridor fights, pulse rifles spitting blue bolts. A Xeno crewman lunged, scaled limbs flailing. Rake sidestepped, vibro blade sinking home. Deck 2 clear, pushing. Sato leaned in. Their beacon's standard resupply ping. I can spoof it, schedule a routine pickup for Kethvor's escorts. Do it, Vance said. Make it irresistible. Sato's hack wormed through the tender's arrays. False codes bloomed, full tanks, priority load for the vanguard. Enemy net bought it. 2 escorts altered course, ETA 40 minutes. Rake's cam hit engineering. Sparks flew from consoles. 3 Xenos hunched over a core, claws dancing on destruct pads. Flash out, Rake bellowed. Stun grenades bloomed white. Marines poured in, rifles barking suppressed rounds. 1 Xeno triggered the sequence countdown at 20 seconds. Rake vaulted a panel, shotgun roaring point blank. The alien crumpled. He yanked the core override, fingers blood slick. Engineering secure, crew contained. No boom, Vance exhaled once. Kess, tether up, pump those tanks. Chief Engineer Nadia Kess's face filled a bridge feed, grease-streaked and grinning faint. Lines locked, fuel purity 92%, better than scraps, pumping now. Endurance asterisk extended grapples, silent pumps humming. Amber fluid surged through hoses, tanks climbing from critical red to half green. Kess worked fast, drones swarming the tender's bays. Rigging her as a bomb, overload the remaining plasma cells, remote det. They'll never see it. Vance scanned scopes. Kethvor's main force orbited the occupied system coreward, blind to this fringe. His tenders ran exposed, arrogance in every unescorted run. Humans scavenged deep space scraps into strikes. Aliens charged with plasma lances and boarding claws, brutal in fleet actions. But humans picked the when, the where. Escorts inbound, Sato warned. Knife range in 5, patterns tight, standard wedge. Vance punched thrust minimal, endurance asterisk ghosting deeper into the well's tug. Rake extract, Kess cut lines. Marines piled back into pods, dragging Xeno prisoners. Hoses retracted clean. Kess slapped her rig control. Bomb hot, she's a fat grenade now. The escorts closed, sleek hunters with lance arrays glowing. Their scan pinged the tender, routine pickup accepted. Docking clamps extended. Vance's thumb hovered the det. Now, Kess triggered. The tender's heart erupted. Plasma cells chained, hull blooming into white-hot fury. The lead escort vaporized mid-dock, debris clouds swallowing the second. Shrapnel punched reactors, it listed drives venting. Endurance fired escape burn, slingshotting out the well's curve. Sensors cleared, no pursuit yet. Vance keyed fleet-wide. Fuel secured. First blood on their lines. No cheers, just nods from her bridge crew. Civilians at Aux stations straightened, eyes hard. Sato plotted vectors. Kethvor's tenders scatter now, we dictate logistics. Kess patched in. Tanks at 60%, rigs holding. Rake's voice hauling prisoners aboard. Intel grab, dreadnought inbound, system edge, bigger than asterisk Vorath asterisk. Vance eyed the hollow. Kethvor's force would adapt. Respect edged his last tight beam. Humans turned desperation to discipline. Invaders learned slow. Plot intercept, she said. We hunt. Deep in the well's shadow, endurance shed velocity like old skin. Vance paced the bridge, boots magnet locked to deck. Sato's patterns mapped enemy tenders, 6 more, fat with fuel, probing salvage lanes. Next target, she said. Edge of the debris field, ambush vector green. Rails spooled quiet. Endurance ghosted forward, Marines prepping pods. Rake drilled his team in the bays, civilians snapping to form, rifles cycling true. Sato's console pinged. Tender isolated, no escorts. Their co-assumes were broken, hiding. Vance smiled thin. We are hiding until we aren't. Slugs roared again. The second tender crippled, drives blooming fire. Pods launched. Rake breached clean, Marines flooding corridors. Engineering lockdown, Rake reported. Crew panic, self-destruct aborted. Sato spoofed the beacon. 3 escorts bit, converging hungry, Kess tethered, pumps humming. Fuel richer this run, 80 purity. Rig set, det remote, escorts docked. Vance thumbed the trigger, bloom of plasma. 2 escorts cracked, the third spun wild, lances firing blind. Endurance vanished into debris wake, tanks swelling. Kethvor's tight beam pierced the black. Vance, your ghosts multiply, logistics bleed. She patched him visual. His scaled face filled screens, mandibles tight, not rage, calculation. Fuel where we eat, Kethvor, drift your tenders our way. His force tightened wedges, but tenders pulled coreward. Humans outthought the flanks. Pattern shift, Sato said. They're screening logistics now. Vance nodded. Good, burns their fuel faster. Rake hauled more prisoners. Interrogations yielded codes, routes, civilians manned guns, eyes steady. Third tender fell same way. Rails disabled, borders locked, lure set, fuel pumped. Bomb primed, 4 escorts arrived cautious. Vance waited, they scanned deep, too deep. Detonation chained through their formation, lead vaporized, wingmen shredded. Endurance slipped away, a shadow in the well. Kess whooped over comm. Tanks full, rigs purring ugly but solid. Vance checked scopes. Kethvor's dreadnought signatures firmed, closing fast. His main force pivoted, tenders herded tight. They're respecting us now, Sato murmured. Not enough, Vance said. Sato cracked their net, rake prep for big game, Kess weaponized the salvage. Fleet hummed alive. Humans fought from scraps, rails from vents, marines from civilians. Aliens brought dreadnoughts and lances unbreakable in open clash. But humans chose the scraps, turned them to fangs. Kethvor's voice returned. Parley, Vance, your resolve noted. Terms? She eyed his feed. Stance shifted, caution edged arrogance. Send a tender alone, we talk fuel. Silence stretched. Then, agreed, 1 hour. Trap set. Endurance waited in the black. Pods thrummed from *endurance *s bays. Rake's team hurtled toward the tender, Kethvor's bait hulking larger than prior runs. Vance tracked from bridge. Sato, their net. Quiet, he said. Patterns scream ambush, escorts ghosted. Rails stayed cold. Endurance hung back, Kess's salvage drones prepped as mines. Rake's cam showed breach. Not a tender, troop carrier boarding claws inbound. Xenos swarmed his pods, scaled horrors with pulse gauntlets. Marines fought 0G brutal, shotguns boomed, blades flashed. Rake took a claw to the pauldron, spun, returned fire double tap. Core secure, he grunted, but they're piling. Vance punched rails, slugs hammered the carrier's flanks. Kess, mind the well. Drones seeded the gravity tug. Carrier cracked but spat counterborders toward *endurance *. Repel, Vance ordered. Civilians stacked at airlocks, Juno's drills paying off. Rifles barked from the airlocks. Civilians held the breach, Juno's drills snapping them into fire teams. Pulse rounds scorched bulkheads. A boarder lunged through the hatch, scaled limbs flailing. A welder from Kess's crew put 3 slugs in its chest plate. It crumpled. Vance gripped her console. Status, Rake. Carriers venting, Juno grunted over comms, his voice cut through static. Pods clear, dragging 3 Xenos intact. Endurance secure, Sato added. Screens flickered with kill confirms. Kess's drone mines had cracked the carrier's spine. Debris bloomed in the black. Recover and RTB, Vance ordered. She watched the pods streak home. No cheers, just reloads and med patches. Humans tallied costs in blood, not boasts. Bridge crew patched hull scars. Vance keyed tightband. Scattered signals pinged, ghost arcships, refugee hulks, survivor pickets, her voice cut sharp. All human remnants, this is Commander Vance, Endurance, Saul's fall confirmed. No mobs, no suicides. Rendezvous Delta 7, Vector 192 Mark 45. Discipline holds or we die scattered. Acknowledge triple tap. Pings lit her display, 12 hulls, then 20. A fleet clawed from the void, not vengeance drunk, but steel stacked. Kess burst onto the bridge, grease-smeared, clutching data slates. Commander, scraps won't fight alone. She slapped a 1-page printout on Vance's station. Keep it flying checklist, standardized, every hull gets it. Vents to rails, coolant pipes to torps. Civvies follow steps, no improv deaths. Vance scanned it. Bold steps, weld brackets here. Bypass relays there, test fire cold. Distribute mandatory. Kess wheeled out. Drones hummed from engineering bays, ferrying checklists to docking tenders. Survivor ships lit up with weld sparks. A corvette's hull plates shifted, jury-rigged turrets blooming. Sato's fingers danced over tack holo. Contacts, 3 alien pickets frigate lead, hunting our stragglers. His eyes narrowed at patterns. Faint iron trails, predictable lances. Vector the scraps, Vance said. 3 hulls, crossfire. Locking. Sato pinged Lieutenant's Pride, a gutted freighter, scrap rat, refugee tug, and ghostwing engine limping scout. Form wedge, rails hot on my mark. Tiny ships ghosted into lanes. Frigate sensors swept blind. Humans ran cold, baffles tight. Sato timed it. Fire! Rails spat. Pride scavenged coils hurled slugs from port. Scrap rat flanked high torps from coolant tanks. Ghostwing low, ventrails ripping armor. Frigate bucked. Escorts scattered. It broke formation, engines flaring retreat. Sato's console chimed. Picket rooted, first blood fleet scale. Vance nodded. Rake, boarding drills, now. Down in the bays, Juno rake paced mixed crews. Welders gripped shotguns. Cooks hefted breaching charges. No trophies, he barked. Prisoners breathe intel, stack left, breach right, 0G pivot, show me. They drilled. Pods simulated Xeno claws. Civvies tumbled, fired, secured. A former teacher zip-tied a mock border. Juno nodded. Real run, that carrier wreck. Salvage and snatch. Pods launched anew. Rake's team hit the drifting hulk. Scaled Xenos twitched in the wreckage. Marines cleared compartments, double taps to limbs, not heads. Zip 'em, Juno ordered. Interrogation bait. They dragged 5 back. Endurance's bays sealed tight. Vance faced the prisoners in the brig. Scaled hides heaved under restraints. One snarled in broken English translator glitchy. Panic beasts, submit. She leaned in. Cold eyes met yellow slits. Talk, command ship's route. It hissed, claws flexed. Sato fed her a hypo-truth serum Kess brewed from med stores. Prisoner spasmed. Words spilled. Keth Vor, Dreadnought Lance, Vector 310, Resupply Omicron 9, Parley faint. Vance pinned it on hollow. Command ship's path glowed, predictable arc through the debris fields. Sato, plot intercept. Fleet forming, he said. 24 hulls now, checklists binding them, rails synced. Crossfire web ready, Kess patched in. Engines green across board, ugly but flying. Rake, boarding claws prepped. Teams stacked. Prisoners first break their morale. Vance broadcast fleet-wide. Intercept in 6. Humans don't mob, we fleet strike. Engines thrummed. Scrap armada surged. Freighters with fang turret rose. Tugs seeding mines. Scouts painting targets. Kethvor's lance emerged from the black dreadnought core shielded by lances. Alien commander's voice boomed open channel. Vance, your scraps a moose, yield. She stayed cold. Fuel tender inbound, alone. Silence. Then his escorts peeled off pattern. Sato smirked. Same mistake. Fleet struck. Rails from 40 bows converged. Sato's solutions tore escort armor. Kess's drone mines bloomed in their wells. Frigates cracked, spilling borders. Rake's teams pounced, pods latching like wolves. Dreadnought fired lances, plasma hell. Endurance bucked, hull screaming. Civvies stacked at breaches, rifles barking disciplined. A lance pod wedged in the bay. Juno led the counter, shotguns boomed, blades flashed. Prisoners, he roared. Xenos faltered, claws hesitating. Vance watched feeds. Sato vectored the noobs, Pride and Scraprat crossfired the Dread's flanks. Slugs punched reactors. Kethvor's bridge cam hacked through, his stance shifted. Arrogance cracked. How panic, vermin? Resolve, Vance keyed back. Yours breaks first, Dreadnought listed. Escorts rooted. Kethvor's voice returned, edged. Cease, terms, respect. Offered. Fleet rails stayed hot. Vance eyed the hollow. Command ship pinned, leaking. Survivors rallied, more pings inbound. Humans forged from broken hulls, not mob, fleet. Send your flagship codes, she said. Parley on my deck. His feed flickered. Caution 1. Transmitting. Endurance closed. Pods prepped not for blood, but binding. The invader learned. Wake human discipline. Face fangs eternal. Commander Mara Vance slammed her fist on the console. Leak it now, Sato. Lieutenant Ilya Sato's fingers flew across the tactical board. Distorted audio burst onto alien priority channels. A fabricated distress call from the Endurance, pleading for aid amid catastrophic cascade failure. Vance watched the ghost signal propagate through the deep space relay net, laced with just enough authentic ArcShip encryption. To fool their sniffers. Sato leaned back. Planted, they'll bite. Pattern says they always chase lone cripples. Vance nodded. Her bridge crew, salvaged from a shattered fleet, huddled over flickering hollows. No panic in their eyes, just cold math. The ArcShip Endurance drifted in asteroid shadow, reactors idled to mimic a dying hulk. Humans didn't break. They bent. Sensors pinged. Alien signatures bloomed on the plot. Kethvor's task force, heavy with his command dreadnought and escort frigates. The invader captain committed hard. No probes first, straight intercept vector. Arrogant, Vance muttered. Kethvor's kind assumed humans scattered like roaches after Saul fell. They glassed the homeworld, scattered the remnants. But Endurance carried 5,000 souls, civilians drilled into Marines, engineers who jury-rigged gods from scrap. Chief Engineer Nadia Kess patched in from below decks. Her face filled a side screen smeared with coolant grease. Reactors primed for overdrive, ma'am. 1 burn. Hull stress at 20% over redline. Pick your poison, engines or guns. Both, Vance said. We spring this trap clean. Kess grinned through the grime. Aye, routing power now. Sato spun his hollow. Asteroid field ahead, jagged rocks tumbling in the void, perfect for shadows. Kill box here. Decoys timed for their approach. Pride and Scraprat flank from the belts. Endurance punches center. Vance traced the lanes. Sato's obsession with patterns turned chaos into chess. Aliens excelled at lance barrages, coherent plasma streams that melted fleets at standoff range. Humans, rails and nukes, close, brutal, improvised. Execute, she ordered. Decoy drones spat from Endurance's bays, dummy arc ships broadcasting panic bursts. They drifted into open space, bait glowing hot. Alien frigates peeled ahead, scanners sweeping. Dreadnought lumbered central, lances charging blue. Kethvor's voice crackled open channel, guttural translation overlay straining. Human wreck, fuel tender inbound, yield or burn. Vance keyed response, voice flat. Tender alone, docking codes transmitted. Silence stretched, then movement. Escorts surged forward, dreadnought holding back protocol, isolate the prize, Sato's smirk flashed. Same mistake, every sim. Positions, Vance snapped. Pride and Scraprat, two corvettes, hulls patched with colony hull plate, slipped from asteroid hides. Sato fed firing solutions, railgun arcs plotted through rock shadows, slugs cold launched to evade thermal bloom. Kess's voice cut in. Overdrive engaged, reactors screaming. 10 minutes max before meltdowns. Endurance shuddered. Power-flooded guns, engines, hull groaned, welds popping like gunfire. Civilians in the bays stacked ammo, faces set. Sergeant Juno Rake prowled the passages, barking drills. Eyes front, breach protocols, we hold. Sensors lit. Aliens closed, frigates latched tractor beams on decoys. Lances probed shadows. Now, Vance said, rails thundered. 40 bows converged, Endurance's broadside, Pride's flanks, Scraprat's ventral chase. Slugs hammered escort armor at 5% lightspeed. No warning, no mercy. First frigate cracked. Sato's solution pierced her reactor well. Drone mines, Kess's babies, slung from salvaged probes, bloomed inside. Secondary blasts ripped her spine, debris sprayed. Second frigate jinked. Too late. Pride crossfired her engines. Scraprat's nuke kissed her bridge. Hull-vented warriors clawed Xenos in void suits, tumbling. Kethvor's dreadnought fired. Plasma lances stabbed the dark. Endurance bucked, shields flared, hull screamed. A beam grazed Pride, carving a bay open to space. Counter, Vance roared. Rake's teams launched. Boarding pods latched to the venting frigate like wolves. Juno led the van, shotgun boomed through airlocks, blades flashed in low-G civvies turned Marines poured in, rifles barking disciplined bursts. Xenos faltered, claws hesitating at human resolve. No panic mob, coordinated fire teams, Sato vectored fresh solutions. Dread's flanks exposed, rails hot. Endurance surged, Kess's overdrive burn propelling her through the kill box. Asteroids tumbled past, decoys masking thrust. Dreadnought pivoted, lances sweeping wide. Vance watched the hacked bridge feed, Sato's ghost hack through their net. Kethvor stood tall on his dais, mandibles clicking confidence, until the first rail struck. Slugs punched his ventral armor, reactors flickered. His stance shifted, arrogance cracked. How, his voice boomed, edged. Panic vermin strike true? Resolve, Vance keyed back. Yours breaks first. Dreadnought listed, escorts rooted, pods recalled, frigates slagged. Kethvor's voice returned. Cease, terms, respect, offered. Rails stayed hot. Vance eyed the hollow. Command ship pinned, leaking plasma. Survivors rallied behind, more pings inbound from the fleet's remnants. Humans forged from broken hulls, not mob, fleet. Send your flagship codes, she said. Parley on my deck. His feed flickered. Caution 1, transmitting. Endurance closed, pods prepped, but sensors screamed new contacts. Kethvor's reinforcements, 3 cruisers, lances charging. He hadn't come alone after all. Vance's jaw set. Sato new box, Kess squeeze another burn, Rake double breach teams. The invader learned too late, bait taken, fangs bared. Humans didn't yield, they countered. Kethvor's dreadnought hung in the void, tractors extended like pleading claws. Endurance's rails tracked her bridge. Boarding pods streaked across the gap, mag latches biting hull metal. Vance paced the command deck, eyes on the parley feed. Kethvor waited in his bay, flanked by guards, claws sheathed, but tension rippled their hides. Codes verified, Sato reported. Their net's ours, cruisers inbound 8 to 5 minutes. Vance nodded, parley bought time. Not peace, Rake, secure the prize. Sergeant Juno Rake's helmet cam patched live. His pod breached the dreadnought's outer lock, torch cut clean. Smoke billowed. Xenos charged, plasma carbines spitting. Juno rolled left, shotgun bucked twice, 2 down. His squad fanned, civilians with marine grit suppressing corridors. Push, Juno growled. Discipline holds. They advanced meter by meter. Aliens fought fierce, close quarters their ground, blades whipping faster than human eyes tracked. One Marine fell, gutted. Juno pivoted, blade parrying, shotgun finishing. Prisoners taken, claws bound, shoved aft. Kess's voice crackled. Reactors critical, shunting to guns, one salvo left. Vance gripped the rail. Cruisers closed, lance volleys probing. Pride and Scrapret danced shadows, rails barking. Sato's patterns held, one cruiser grazed, armor sloughing. Kethvor appeared on feed, stepping forward alone. His form towered, exoskeletal might, eyes multifaceted. Commander Vance, your trap. Masterful, Saul's fall hid this. You assumed panic, Vance said. We plan. He mandibles clicked, amusement, respect. My terms, withdrawal, your arc passes, no pursuit. Liar, sensors showed his cruisers massing. Vance smiled cold. Counter, your dreadnought cruise to pods, fleet stands down. His eyes narrowed. You claim my ship. Collateral, rails wind charge, feed cut. Alarms wailed, dreadnoughts lances live, betrayal. Spring it, Vance ordered. Sato slammed execute. Endurances salvaged, torps nuke-tipped, rail launched, swarmed the dread's wells. Kess overrode safeties, reactors puked power. Dreadnought bucked, internals blooming fire. Rake's team hit the bridge, shotguns cleared guards, Kethvor whirled, claws out. Juno tackled, massive frames crashed, Marines piled on, binders snapping. Secure, Rake barked. Cruisers fired, plasma hell rained. Endurance twisted, Kess's burn evading. Pride crossfired a cruiser, reactor kiss. Scrapret mined another's path. Vance watched Kethvor drag to a pod, defiance cracking to calculation. You wake us, she transmitted fleet-wide. We hunt eternal. His response, silence. Pods docked, dreadnought prize towed. Fleet coalesced, broken ships, unbroken will. Hard grapple, Vance barked. Endurances salvaged, mag clamps slammed home. The arc ship shuddered as hulls kissed with bone-jarring force. Alarms screamed collision protocols. Kethvor's dreadnought bucked beneath them, its lances stabbing blind into the void. Vance gripped her command rail, eyes locked on the tactical hollows. Sato's fingers flew across consoles. Ilya Sato saw patterns where others saw chaos. Now those patterns turned betrayal into bait. Clamps locked, Sato reported. Enemy escorts vectoring in, 15 seconds to firing range. Vance nodded once. Rake, breach on my mark. Kess, prep the vent. Sato, you're on their fire net. Affirmative, snapped back. Marines in patched vac suits piled into the breach tube. Sergeant Juno Rake led them, shotgun racked and eyes hard. Civilians turned defenders followed, drills beaten into muscle by Rake's relentless sims. Vance watched the feed. Rake's team sealed the tube. Explosives primed against the dreadnought's hull. Kethvor's voice crackled over open comms. Foolish, Commander, my hull breaches to vacuum, your borders die choking. You talk too much, Vance replied. Mark. Rake's breaching charge bloomed white-hot. The tube punched through. Marines surged into the rent, shotguns roaring. Alien guards, chitin armored, claws gleaming, met them in the corridor. Buckshot shredded exoskeletons. Green ichor sprayed. Rake shouldered forward, blasting a claw swipe aside. Deck plans live. Command bridge 200 meters starboard. Vance tracked the overlay. Endurance clung like a parasite, rails spitting cover fire. Enemy cruisers loomed, plasma lances charging blue. Sato's eyes narrowed at his board. Enemy fire control danced in encrypted bursts, predictable like clockwork. He sliced a ghost probe through their net, piggybacking a maintenance ping. Patterns unfolded, escort sync codes, firing cues. Got their net, Sato said. Hijacking escorts now. Do it. Vance's voice stayed flat. Vengeance was a mission parameter, not a roar. Sato executed. Enemy cruisers froze mid-maneuver. Their lances winked dark. Gunners aboard clawed at consoles, mandibles clicking panic. Sato smiled thin. Escorts offline. 10 minutes till they purge. Kethvor's dreadnought thrashed. Inertial dampers whined. Vance felt the deck plates flex under her boots. Kess's voice cut in from engineering. Coolant reserves at crit. Vent sequence armed, ma'am. Hit them. Vance watched Rake's feed. Marines cleared a junction, sealing it behind. Juno Rake kicked a dying guard aside, her team stacking on the bridge hatch. Alarms wailed in alien tongue, klaxons pulsing red through the feed. Rake planted breaching paste. Charges hot, 3-2. The hatch vaporized. Marines poured through. Bridge crew whirled, officers in towering exosuits, claws extended. Shotguns barked in unison. 2 aliens crumpled. Kethvor rose from his throne, multifaceted eyes locking on the intruders. His claws flexed, servo-whine echoing. "You dare my sanctum?" His voice boomed, translated rough. Rake leveled her shotgun. "Hands up, bug, or what's left of him." He lunged. Rake sidestepped, shotgun butt cracking his mandible. Marines swarmed. A claw raked Juno's arm, armor held, but blood welled. She drove her knee into his midsection. "Binder him," Kethvor thrashed, strength monstrous. Two Marines piled on, shock nets deploying. Electricity crackled. He slumped, bound. Rake yanked his comms panel. "Internal comms cut, bridge secure." Vance exhaled once. "Good work." "Kess now." Deep in Endurance's guts, Nadia Kess sweated through her vac suit. Pipes groaned as she overrode valves. Last coolant reserves, liquid nitrogen scavenged from cryo bays, pumped through jury-rigged hoses. They snaked across the grapple clamps into micro-breaches drilled by Sato's precision rails. Enemy engines glowed hot on sensors. "Venting," Kess grunted. Cryofluid jetted into the dreadnought's reactor throats. Alarms spiked across both ships. Kethvor's engines starved, turbines icing over. The massive hull ground to halt, escorts drifting blind without command. Vance opened the bridge feed. Kethvor knelt, Marines flanking him. His eyes, thousands of facets, glinted calculation over rage. "Your arc clings," he rasped. "My task force rallies. Surrender, human. Passage granted." Vance leaned into pickup. "Transmit retreat to your fleet, sector-wide, or I vent your reactors next." His mandibles parted. "You bluff, my warriors fight to death." Rails whine charge. Sato patched in, a nuke-tipped torp armed in the tube. Kess reported, "Enemy engines at 20%, 5 minutes to meltdown." Kethvor tested binders, they held. Rake pressed her shotgun muzzle to his temple plate. "Clock's ticking, Captain." Her voice carried ice. He scanned his dead bridge. Crew Icor pooled. Feeds showed cruisers adrift, human arcship rails trained. Endurance's battered hull dented plates, rail scars loomed unbowed. "You wake something," Kethvor said low. "Humans plan through ruin." "Transmit," Vance repeated. He activated comms, voice steady but edged. "All ships, Kethvor commanding, initiate full retreat. Vector 180, Mark 270. No pursuit authorized. Repeat, retreat." Confirmations pinged from cruisers. They wheeled, engines flaring blue. Sato locked their signatures. "They're peeling off. Clean vectors." Vance watched pods launch from the dreadnought, his crew evacuating to Endurance's bays. Rake's Marines herded them. Kess sealed breaches, coolant lines retracting. Pride and Scraprat fell in escort, the prize dreadnought towed silent. "You wake us," Vance transmitted fleet-wide, open channel blazing. "We hunt eternal." Kethvor's response, silence. His eyes met the pickup. Respect flickered there, alien and sharp. Endurance pulled free, grapples retracted with a shudder. The Arcship led its broken fleet into deep black, dreadnought trailing like a trophy. Cruisers vanished on scopes. Sector cleared, Vance straightened. "Status." "All green," Sato said. "Enemy net ghosts purged." "Engines stable," Kess added. "Coolant gone, but we adapt." "Rake pods secure, no incidents." Vance nodded, no cheers, just work. Humanity didn't roar victory, they stacked it piece by piece. Sensors pinged faint. Another signal, distant, alien. Kethvor's retreat rippled outward. Invaders would hear, they would learn. Endurance ghosted through the outer rim, Arcship belly scarred but whole. Vance paced the bridge, hollows updating drift vectors. Sato hunched over replays, dissecting cruiser patterns. "They sync on harmonics. Next time, jam at source." "Noted." Vance eyed the prize dreadnought clamped to their flank. Kess's team swarmed it already, hoses snaking, welders sparking. "Nadia engine status?" "Thawed 'em," Kess crackled back. "Alien designs tough, redundant vents everywhere, but ours now." Marines guarded the halls. Juno Rake walked the captured bridge, shotgun slung. Kethvor sat bound in a jury-rigged cell, watching her. "Your fighters, civilians?" "Arc survivors," Rake checked binders. "We drill hard," he clicked mandibles. "Panic species." "Yet you breach like hunters," she snorted. "Panics for quitters." Vance pulled Sato aside. "Debrief their net, find the relay." "Already slicing," his eyes lit. Patterns bloomed, fleet chains, sector commands. "Their hub's 2 jumps forward, we could plan it." Vance cut in. "No rush, resolve built slow, hours ticked. Fleet tightened formation. Pride's rails tested fire, Scraprat mine debris trails. Pods integrated, alien prisoners sorted, intel Pride. Kethvor requested feed, Vance granted it. His voice filled the bridge. "Commander." "My high command queries retreat, explain." "You explain." Vance faced him direct. Tell them humans don't break, we counter, eyes narrowed facets. They dismiss, say Solfall ended you. Sol fell, we rose, Rails wine test charge. Transmit truth or we take more. He paused. Calculation deepened. You force respect. Damn right, Fleet pushed on. Deep space yielded no mercy, but humans carved it anyway. Invaders retreated not from weakness, but human grit etched in hull breaches and silenced guns. Kethvor's signal beamed out. Surrender taken, not begged. Vance gripped the rail. Next contact loomed. They waited, planned, unbreakable. Scrapret pinged contact. Satos.